All right, welcome back. Thank you very much for bearing with us as we do get into our first battleground of the evening. Ancient, the map pick of Bad News Eagles. One that SAW like to play, though. A confident map for them and potentially one that could throw a few spanners in the works. So is bNE going to be starting over on the T side?
Yeah, really excited about where this series could go and how close of a clash it could be if both teams play to their full potential. And we're going to have a pretty quick engagement over on this B bomb site. It's a heavy stack from the CT side as well, though, with 3 in place. And, well, it looks like Bad News Eagles, unfortunately, have no response to that. The dual Berettas for just do a fantastic job, as do apparently the ones that MUTiRiS brought into play, as they stacked them up a little bit. Raid bosses. It's SAW who pick up that opening pistol, only dropping, I believe, not even a single player. Sorry, I thought Story went down. Keeping everyone alive, and that is a commanding start to this series.
Yeah, not the start you want if you're bNE either. Wandering into a raid boss set of dualies. Playing very proactively, just around the pillar, really, nothing more than that, and just gunning them down as they enter. Looks like SAW may well have done their homework. They were very ready for that B play. And without a bomb plant going down, the force buy for bNE never looks too pretty. The Eagles across the board, one smoke, one flashbang, maybe looking for some kind of a mid-take here with a couple of players back in towards Z, but as of yet, not able to find their connection thereafter. Rigon taking a couple of peeks down that ramp. Has Devil Walk in support.
Yeah, I did not notice that. That will change the prospect of the game as well, or prospects.
Yes, Devil Walk standing
Who are we missing?
That's tough.
Scenery? Peter? No. Yeah, we're missing Scenery.
Missing Scenery. Devil Walk looks like he's substituting in. We will try and get a
If you're missing anyone, though, he does seem to be the one with some of the lower stats. Still, though, not going to help. That works. The M4 wasn't getting the job done. The 2 pistols will. In the meantime, 1 kill from Rigon at least puts in a tiny bit of damage. Nothing too substantial, though. The bomb dropped there under control for the moment. Devilwalk gets the trade on the Deagle. He's been keeping in shape, it seems. Looking at his Instagram. Sorry, I wasn't even watching the game. Yeah, I don't know how it took us so long to notice Devilwalk. You were just like, Devilwalk in support?
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you don't really think that they're going to be playing with their coach. I'm just reading off the sort of players who are around the map, and it's like, and there's Devil Walk working his way around. So that's, I mean, we'll have to see how it pans out. We are looking for confirmation as to what's going on there exactly, but getting into this one nice and quick. It's one Flatro looking to gun his man down. Nice trade through the smoke at the very least from Story. The man found, a rifle recovered. Unfortunately, again, just no utility at all to try and help this T side out, so they should be gunned down on entry despite the efforts of GXX. The dink will be converted on, but it's just thinning out the numbers a little too swiftly. EWjerkz, last man up, down on 25, manages to find the conversion, gets the 3rd round over the line, and I mean, it's good damage again, it's good economic reinvestment we're going to see from SAW, and it's an opportunity maybe for Bad News Eagles to start breaking things.
Yeah, it was better than nothing. You can see the impact it's had. As you said, they have the chance to break them even now, potentially. So coming alive here in the early stages could pay off for them. Let's see. Story's got his op, though, which isn't really going to have a response, unfortunately, for the moment over on that on that T side, rather. GXX unable to field one. Heavy focus, really, just towards the B side of things. It looks overall to be a pretty standard combo, so we're not going to see anything too crazy from the T side here in the opening stages, waiting out this utility that they know the CT side is going to have a decent abundance of, considering they won out those initial 3 rounds. Oh, MUTiRiS heavily committed in on the opposing side there of Sniper's Nest. Unfortunately, was expected by Rigon, who's going to try and push his way through the spawn. There's already been a response elsewhere, rather, so they don't have the numbers advantage anymore, so he does want to play relatively cautiously here, as Just was well prepared and shuts it down. In the meantime, though, the actual bomb site is also coming under attack, and a kill around that smoke, or through it, rather. Onto EWjerkz, gets the job done to give them access for the bomb plant. I was going to say uncontested. Devilwalk even snatches himself up another kill. And in a 3-on-2, I think the save should already be considered here.
Fast flank might make them reconsider plans, though. Flatro's not looking for this. He is on the right side of the doors for now, but as he looks to escape through them, Roman gets a kill. Unfortunately, I think that time just a little bit too low, and as you said, we're going to see the save coming through. Taking an extra man to the grave, though, is not a bad result at all. And they've got, well, they've got bNE pretty well pinned in here. T-side not looking to exit just yet. Story still lurking in towards red as well. Hoping maybe to pick one more off on the exit. Will just fade away into CT as bNE get their first round on the board. So a little bit of chaos across the board, but it's bNE who come out on top, getting their first round on the board. And we have got some confirmation rather as well that SAW.MUTiRiS having some internet connection issues at his house, which is why we've got Devilwalk joining us for this one.
Yeah, that's obviously why we ended up starting before your prediction of 20 past, once we realized there were some tech issues. At least the Devilwalk clearly capable. Looks like he's still able to hold his own at the moment. He's of course a major winner, I believe, from the early days.
Throwing that way back.
Yeah, but it's still an achievement. And take it away from him ever. It's the thing you get marked in history. It's a pretty weak buy for SAW at the moment, though. Much less utility than the previous round, and also the firepower, of course, not quite there on a few players. So we'll see what can be done. They are considering that B push, I believe. It was being watched, but at the moment it looks like Bad News Eagles starting to put most of their focus in towards Sniper's Nest. Looking to get this control. Raygon again being the one who's moving forward, and at this point we're still well over a minute. They can slow things down and start reconsidering where they actually want to end this. And Devilwalk somehow has walked onto the Bs and also got himself a kill onto the Sniper back in the spawn. Although there is some responses elsewhere, the numbers just aren't working out for SAW, unfortunately. MUTiRiS, they know where he is. I think he's considering saving the AK. They'll have an eco otherwise. Well, they'll have an eco no matter what, but otherwise everyone else is going to have just the pistols on the eco, so an AK to do some damage would be nice.
That's such a ratty call as well. 4-man mid-take. Devilwalk initially watches for the B aggression, then as his teammates are taking through to snipers through red and are really forcing the issue, you start to see those CT rotations come through. You start to see a little bit of space open up, and as MUTiRiS goes down, Devilwalk, around to remember, just lurks his way up, catches a freebie then, the 2-man play in towards Jaguar, leaving them just ever so slightly isolated, and from there, able to just snowball that one into a second round on the board, and one that completely breaks the economy of SAW, as you said, puts them right back on that back foot. Opportunity for SAW as he grabs himself the MAC-10 to farm up some cash, and for bNE to establish themselves in this first map.
Yeah, well, we are expecting this to be a close one, so I do think we'll have SAW come back alive once they can start getting some guns out. Whether it'll be in that first gun round or not, that is a different question, of course. Slightly longer pause here. Hopefully not a technical one, and if it is, I was going to say hopefully it means Scenary's coming back, but that doesn't seem to be the case for the moment. We're getting back into the action. As you said, one SMG to try and build up some economy, and nothing really being upgraded for SAW, as you would expect, considering they're all pretty low on economy, only getting 2,400 as well in this next round. It's not going to give them the most amazing of buys.
Yeah, one of those really frustrating situations where even with a complete save across the board, it's still not going to look quite as pretty as you'd like. And well, unfortunately for SAW, they've tried an A stack, and bNE have just charged on into the B-bomb site. SAW.MUTiRiS, of course, leading the way, so this is a free round. And the question really starts to become, how much money does SAW.MUTiRiS want to try and hunt down, and does he then look to upgrade off of this MAC-10 moving forwards? He's got one already. A support from deep from the AK-47 as well, really looking to set this MAC-10 up for success. Plenty of bodies on the other side. SAW.MUTiRiS calls for the flashbang around the corner. He'll go. EWjerkz at least able to deal with that one. So just the one kill off the MAC-10, not the result that bNE would have necessarily been looking for. And they have got to be a little bit careful here now as well, as Juan Flatro starts to lose his AK. Don't want to be losing too much more to this complete eco. Couple of players going down, admittedly only one rifle, but not a bad net result for SAW, you have to say.
Yeah, they're not being completely shut out of any of these rounds, even when they really shouldn't have much of a fighting chance. We've seen in the previous ecos as well, they were able to get to 2 kills at least as well. So they've kept their toes in the water, basically, but they really need to get going here once again. And as we mentioned, it's not quite perfect. A couple of FAMASs so that they can get that full utility. They do at least have a kit on towards just, so that's there if they need to play in towards a retake. But this round is one that they really want to pick up and stop this train that is Bad News Eagles right now, who've found some footing in this game. And Raygon completely blinded as he charged through the smoke. A bit unfortunate. There was a player up close that he had realized had made his way through the smoke already. So shut down everyone else, favoring over towards B in the early stages, probably hoping Raygon was going to find a bit of success around mid and perhaps even pull a rotation.
he so nearly did as Synopsy goes looking for more and falls down. It was Rigon. I think he just got caught jumping onto the box. He had vision. Could just about work out where they were in that mid play. Had a player flashed up as well, but the jump just really threw it off. And at this point for bNE, I mean, you've sacrificed 2 players trying to take that mid control early on. You've lost a lot of your util for 0-sum game. The only player who's taken any damage is EWjerkz, and he's only down to 77. Looks like they are willing to die on the sword of mid, however. MUTiRiS looking for the headshot peak. GXX is up to the task. bNE might not be out of this one just yet. They've managed to establish that mid control. GXX looking to push the issue even further through his own smoke. We'll start to take this red position, but Story ready and waiting for it. Makes this very ugly as just catches one. Flatro looking the wrong way. And when he goes back for a little bit more as well, another nice clean round for the CT side of SAW.
Yeah, and that's how they need to come back alive in clean fashion. The ability to build up some money at least, and ensure that they're going to have all of their utility repurchased. Also, an immediate pause being called in though. Bad News Eagles don't want to let anything slip away. Just a temporary tech pause. Okay, so that is confirmed. Wolfie was right, but short one hopefully. All tech pauses are temporary, so I mean it'll be like 2 hours.
I was about to say, it depends on your definition of temporary there, Dean, my friend. SAW calling a tech, a few ping issues, nothing too significant to worry about though, so hopefully, normally in these sort of situations, you just wait for the ping to stabilize down a bit, and then we get back into the action.
No, kick him out and get the coaching. Make it fair.
And let's make it fair. 4-on-4 with 2 coaches, yeah?
Devil Walk top fragging with 1 flat throw though, so...
He's looked pretty crispy so far. He's not looked off the pace whatsoever.
There's been a few eco rounds he's been able to add to that kill count for sure, but he's been snatching up the kills quickly. It's not like he's been struggling with any tools or anything, so I would imagine he has continued playing the game throughout the years, even though we haven't really been seeing him as a prominent face. In that regard anyways. It's always been behind the scenes, following him on Twitter and such. But we are back into it, so it was a pretty temporary pause. We told the truth. Bad News Eagles, though, reinvest in everything here to try and slap back and see if they can deny any rounds really being chained together here for SAW, which would be a big response because, again, the economy, while there is some loss bonus, probably wouldn't be able to fully fund the buy in this next round for SAW. Hey, I think he's going to actually do decent damage. Yeah, GXX down to 49. They're considering the peak here with the damage done. It could be viable, but the shot might be rattled off. GXX, we know he has quick reactions. Not quite quick enough to catch the shoulder, though.
Close to the mark. Information gathered from SAW, however. Nice nade chips away. They'll know that he's likely damaged off the back of that as well, just based off his positioning. And bNE just settling into their early positionings. We're seeing Rigon again looking to lurk that initial smoke out mid, catching a little bit of control. Sets himself up behind the boxes, and it's forcing SAW to play a little more passively than you'd normally perhaps see on this map. It's a 2-1-2, and they're actually going to look for some re-aggression right through mid, right as Rigon looks to escape. MUTiRiS and Roman swinging out a donut with assists from Story. And another big opening kill swings against the Bad News Eagles, and from here, the options become that little bit more limited. You can see SAW on the minimap steal a 3rd rotation out towards this B-bomb site. Able to split them 3 and 2, gives them that extra little bit of control and gives them a straight 3-on-3 at the moment. Up on this B site, Roman taking a lot of util damage, but yet to fall, and as a result, they shouldn't have to rotate too many players across. EWjerkz has just started to sniff onto it as Devil Walk goes down to just, and that should be the game given away at this point. You can see EWjerkz making his way back around. GXX yet to be able to find any kind of impact in this round. EWjerkz gets another as 1 flat throw. Just about manages to open up the account for bNE, but again, that bomb isolated out in no man's land. A missed shot from GXX, and it's game over. SAW looking very, very clean in that one once more. The CT side's holding firm.
Yeah, there was a couple players on the brink of death, but overall, not too much of an issue. Justice just going to get a drop over. Purchases up his nades, and while they don't have too much money left in the reserve, they have finally actually managed to put Bad News Eagles down onto a weaker buy. It's been quite a while since we've seen anything like that. The initial 3 rounds, of course. Well, the pistols can't even really be afforded. There's 2 B250s and a Deagle, no utility at all. So SAW, on paper, could be looking at a round here where potentially they could keep all 5 alive. That would have 3 of their players already sitting with a pretty stacked economy and give them a real Excellent blocker to try and get the CT side into a fantastic position. Roman playing well around the box will eventually, though, be overrun by SAW.MUTiRiS. The weapon recovered. How much is SAW.MUTiRiS going to be able to get done with the M4, though, is the question. GXX is pinned in, only a Glock in hand. There was nothing he could do. SAW.MUTiRiS on the back box now. Pretty much caught out in the open and yeah, triple beaked. I believe at that point, MUTiRiS is the one who puts an end to a 6-3, a clean enough round, but only one casualty yet again. And, well, SAW have definitely come back to life with the rifles, as I said, we could expect of them. But I do expect Bad News Eagles to keep it incredibly intense as well.
Interestingly, SAW very, very T-side leaning on this map when they play it. Have to see how much of an impact that has. But as you said, SAW are looking solid, very solid on the CT side at the moment. Not really giving bNE much room to breathe once the rifles are in play. Rigon once again wants to try this lurk, but Roman, he's looking for the hard counter, looking to press the issue. Rigon reads it. Information passed across despite the flashbang. SAW.MUTiRiS assisting on the death, and for the first time in a while, actually, bNE on the rifle buys have got themselves the man advantage, very nearly losing it to GXX. The trades coming through frantically over towards the B side of the map, but it's left a couple of isolated fights. MUTiRiS, sensing the danger, goes for the wild swing, gets away with that one. Story able to miss his first shot and still convert onto SAW.MUTiRiS. And surely that should have put the final nail in the coffin, but flatro is determined to let this one just be a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, this round was a little bit all over the place, if I'm being honest. EWjerkz, he's been the absolute star of SAW according to the stats. I say that because I don't get to cover him too often, unfortunately. Well, he's showcasing that at the moment, sitting 10-4, not giving away too much there to GXX as well, who was looking for a slight opening towards that B-bomb site. And, well, instead, he's going to run it back over towards mid, it looks like, hoping to maybe catch one of these players out of position. If he finds the up of Story, in fairness, definitely is viable, but the shot is going to land. Story is not making any more mistakes like he did peeking towards main. 7-3. It's not as clean as the previous ones, but that was the full gun round from Bad News Eagles. They don't manage to find a bomb plant either, and they're only now actually sitting at the full loss bonus. So while they can buy up some pistols and maybe even some Kevlar alongside that utility, it's not quite going to be the full investment, meaning SAW very likely are already looking at 8 rounds on the CT side. And as you said, they tend to favor towards the T side.
It's a few slightly worrying signs, I think, for bNE. Obviously hampered slightly, playing with the coach, but would have been hoping for some impact. Onto the pistols in this one. Tech 9s. Eagle, nice HE, chips away. Makes him that little more vulnerable as it's going to be the fast B-pop. Missed shot initially from Just, but he gets his Molotov down, able to trade his teammates' death out, and at this point, support already arriving in its droves. 3 players, a 4th fast on the rotation. It's job done. 1 casualty against the rush. SAW again quick on the rotations, were able to support their teammates very swiftly. Not really letting that side get overrun. I don't think bNE got anywhere near getting that bomb down.
No, they got clogged up at the top of the ramp, unfortunately. Though I think one player came through cave. He got mollied off immediately, so he couldn't really do anything to assist either. Just played it well, just tucking back into the corner. I hate players that have names that are words that you use often in sentences, because then you're just repeating yourself and it sounds strange. Anyways, fantastic team performance from SAW so far. That's what we're seeing. No pun intended, SAW scene. Very aggressive though from the CT side. We've seen this a few times, and it's really the only opportunity we've seen for Bad News Eagles to find openings.
Able to grab another one here, pressing the issue. MUTiRiS is going to have to back away, push through the smoke, nearly the second as well. On flatro on 4 HP, somehow able to survive it. Story again, just not quite able to connect his shot either. So the man advantage just about remains the way of bNE, and flatro punishing the mistakes of the AWPer. Picks his man off and splits this CT defense in perhaps the cruelest way possible. Roman is now solo out on this A site. He's going to tuck himself into main, knowing there's very little he can do to stop this bomb from going down. They are short on utility though, the Bad News Eagles, and as Devilwalk turns his back, there will be one. On flatro down on 4 HP, but he's playing a ratty old angle here, looking for something. It levels out, and now Just, with his teammate flanking main, has actually got a really nice crossfire inside of this A site. There's going to have to be proactivity from bNE, and it's GXX pushing through. Clears out Temple, doesn't quite catch the timing onto Just. That'll mean his teammate goes down, and Just has read this beautifully, but not quite enough. GXX brings it back to the one-on-one. He wants more, wants the fight, brings Roman down desperately low. With the smoke on that bomb, however, Roman's going to start to try and bait his man out. Knows the damage done is significant, and the spray through the smoke will be punished. 10 HP. And Roman is able to clutch it up against GXX to keep the SAW train rolling. 9 on the CT side of Ancient now for that CT side.
Yeah, from the 2-on-4 as well, I believe, that they managed to pull it back there. So Bad News Eagles are going to be kicking themselves that they've let that slip, and really are beginning to let this map slip away at this point. As we were saying, we expect SAW to be pretty solid over on that T side. This is the choice here of Bad News Eagles as well, with Vertigo coming up next. And I mean, sure, Bad News Eagles can play Vertigo, but stats-wise, it's not even quite as strong as their Ancient, and it is very, very good for SAW. So it'll be a little bit worrying if they get rolled over here on Ancient before going into that second map. We could throw our predictions way off. That's one thing. Make us look a bit silly. Quick control for Rigon again on mid, this time not actively being challenged. It's the off of Story that wants to find an opening for SAW. That's exactly what he'll do on towards Devilwalk, who's gone a bit quiet.
Can't blame the coach. Rigon has managed to sneak his way up that angle, though. Catches MUTiRiS with nade in hand. Keeps his team just about in this one. bNE are looking for a lot of these cheeky smoke fades, and Flatro's got another. Timing on this could be everything, though. The main push from Roman has managed to split SAW.MUTiRiS from the support of GXX, and, well, there could be 2 kills on the board here for Roman if he can hold his nerve, hold his trigger. Could be a 3rd, in fact. Rigon is going to force his hand. He manages to grab the 1. They know about it now, but can they clear their man out of the mark? SAW.MUTiRiS does. They know the play. They know what's up. Story with a lot to do, but he's found his first. Flatro spotted in the meanwhile means that this CT side know exactly what's coming, and they are not going to fall for that. Double digits on the board. Story with a couple of kills on that AWP to try and build some confidence over towards the A site. And bNE, again, just not quite able to find a way to break this defense. They've tried just about everything at this point. The smoke fade from Flatro doesn't work out. Admittedly, the main push, you know, it's a little bit of a timing there from Roman on the A1S to be able to split the offensive that efficiently. But it's all the information, and then it's the conversion from SAW. When they get that info, when they get the advantageous position, they are just producing clinical rounds time after time.
Yeah, I really couldn't have imagined that they'd be this dominant coming into the series when I was picturing what way I was expecting this to go. Obviously, we did expect Bad News Eagles to have their regular 5. I've seen some people in chat saying as well that it's likely they're having to come a bit more in English, perhaps because of Devilwalk, but not too sure what way that would have worked, because either way, sitting as the coach, he'd probably want to be able to understand what's going on. It's a very weak buy down, considering they're already down 10-3. You don't like to see the fact that they're only getting a couple hero rifles alongside some pistols. It'll give them a shot at least at this round, and if they can get the bomb down, it'll confirm them all with plenty of money at least in this next round. The rifles that come out on both Rigon and Flatro again, but it's desperate times really. They need to add at least 1 more round on this half, preferably to 2 if they can, and then build up into the second half with an early pistol round win as well. That's how I see them getting back into this, but it's not going to be easy. Flatro, okay, has been able to go ahead and get himself a quick opening. It was in towards Sniper's Nest, which has been a real problem for SAW.
Lost the lane control, at least initially, was the response from SAW. They backed out of it, though, knowing that perhaps it isn't viable to hold on to it for an extended period. And with that man advantage, bNE in a really solid spot here. Rigon still has a smoke. He wants to press the issue, looking to just time his way up the ramp, however. With only 2 players here, SAW.MUTiRiS gets the free backstab, and it really is all EWjerkz here. He's got to do it all on his own. He's got 2 already. Make it 4 before he finally is put down by GXX. EWjerkz, the hero, as once again, bNE just not able to find the connections they need. GXX left. 4 kills so far this half. A 1v2 to contend with, and slowly but surely being flanked out by Roman. Molotov and a flashbang if he wants to use it. Instead, they're just going to go dry into the angle. Roman will finish what EWjerkz starts. A 1-man wrecking ball on that B-bomb site. Should never have been able to get away with that much work, but somehow, some way, drags SAW over the line for 11.
Yeah, just played absolutely fantastically around that pillar with some amazing shots to back it up. Of course, 16 and 7 he's sitting at now. It is usually pretty. I think he does have a pretty decent advantage over the rest of his teammates in terms of recent stats. Yeah, sitting at 1.17 rating over these past 3 months. You have Story and Just Den sitting at 1.06. So there's a bit of a gap, but at the moment, everyone is stepping up, and that's what they need. Just is having a fantastic game. Roman had that clutch earlier on as well. Winning out these important, crucial rounds. Rigon, what a transfer! To come away with 2 kills from what looked like it should have been almost certain death right there is fantastic, but it is still going to be Bad News Eagles prompted over towards this B bomb site, and it's Story who has to put a stop to it. A fantastic shot on Devil Walk. The rest of them just a few feet too far behind to be able to do anything about it, and at this point I was going to say Story might just want to stay alive and keep the numbers up for a retake, and unfortunately as he goes in for the peak, he is going to be punished, so the bomb goes down. There's a chance here for a 4th round to potentially go on the board for Bad News Eagles.
Just a little too keen, and the punishment's starting to come through now. Just caught around the edge of the smoke by GXX. MUTiRiS left to try and clutch up. Of course, last round of the half, he's got to give it a go. Problem is, how do you split this one now? Spots out the first, manages to gun down Synopsy for free, and now with the smoke in hand, he can start to force GXX out into the open. He's got a Molotov as well, defuse kit available. Bomb not in a great spot for him, and GXX able to put his man down. 11-4 as we head into the halftime. SAW looking to steal their opposition map pick. Not the first half. bNE would have been hoping for 11-4 down as they head to the CT side of things, and a pistol that, well, feels pretty much essential, Dean, if they're going to stand a chance of making a comeback here.
Yeah, unless they're able to somehow come out with the miracle second round, which can sometimes be a little bit better. Maybe not at this scoreline. All right, interesting setup from bNE.gxx on mid. They've gone for a heavy stack, perhaps a response to this expected approach from SAW. And, well, it seems to be working incredibly well. A single casualty is all they suffer, as Synopsy and one Flatro are the ones to clean it up with a little bit of assistance. And as you said, crucial 5th round put on the board for bNE.gxx. That was way quicker than I would have expected even. No kills, well, barely any kills from SAW, so likely a full eco as they'll look to try and buy in towards this next round with a semi-decent, decent buy rather. So at least the 6th round here going onto the board for bNE.gxx, and if they can get that first gun round, I start believing that again, they have a shot on this map.
And they've got Scenario back.
Oh, okay.
Looking over at that 5-man, so it looks like Devilwalk is back in the coach slot, so you can start to maybe, if you're a bNE.gxx fan, start to feel that little glimmer of hope. An intriguing call on the pistol, a straight-out brawl, and it works out brilliantly for bNE. And now, everyone back, ready to start anew. And for now, SAW just hoping, I think, for some over-aggression somewhere on the board. Somebody to just push their luck a little bit too far. For now, bNE not biting, though. Couple of MAC-10s in play for GXX and Scenario. Would like to build up a little bit of bank, you'd imagine. Pretty decent positions to swing close and support on Rigon and Synopsy as SAW do look for this delayed hit into the A site. Absolutely no utility, just the Glock. So it's going to be the good old-fashioned slaughter on entry. Or at least it should be. EWjerkz spotted and dealt with, and at this point, yeah, just tapping away at the remaining bodies. Really not too much to worry about at all. The pistols come out, Scenario finishes the job. bNE have their 6th. This is where, however, things will start to get that little bit more interesting. First buy is up. bNE looking for a bonus as well, keeping those 2 MAC-10s persistent. MAC-10s, MP9s, will get the sides rights eventually. Gift SAW just a little bit of a firepower advantage coming into this one.
Yeah, it is pretty much a bonus round for bNE.gxx. I mean, it wouldn't be perfect, but they would be able to buy again in this next round. So, give them a couple of weaker weapons. It does make sense, especially if they're going to try something a bit crazier. And it looks like, again, they're going to go for pretty heavy presence in on mid. Leaving A for the moment completely open, but how often do you see a fast A rush? It doesn't happen too often, so it's definitely a worthwhile risk.
It's a really nice call just to open things up. Pile the pressure onto this B lane, keeping SAW out of any opening control in these initial moments. You can see 2 players still lurking deep outside of Z. It's cost them most of their utility. Held on to near enough the whole map for the opening 30 seconds. SAW having to rethink their plans, as with just 3 smokes and a flashbang left, they've got to try and construct and execute. Rigon spots the boost out and actually deals with the bottom man, gets good damage onto MUTiRiS as well, and that's exactly what bNE wanted. Just forcing SAW's hand a little bit in the opening moments, as now trying to work their way in through the Jaguar. The MP9 will be forced to rethink his angle, but the M4 in one Flatro in support, not expected. All too easy to find. One should be traded cleanly by Scenario as well. It's a little choppy, but the man advantage is still there for bNE, and they are well set to deal with this execute as it starts to try and work its way into B. It's Rigon, though, cutting it down before they even get there. Smooth as you like. bNE are back on the CT side.
Yeah, this is what we needed to see from them, and well, with another eco half buy kind of coming in from SAW again, they should be able to add that 8th round onto the board and keep on building their way back into this slowly but surely. We know SAW in general tend to be a little bit stronger on this T side, so with the next buy likely having a much better backup in terms of utility and such as well, with their money being really strong alongside the full loss opponents, rather they will likely have a good shot at coming back to life. The Molly's destroyed EWjerkz. I think he got hit by a second. The way it sounded like probably stopped his movement as well. He might have been jumping. And unfortunately, he burned alive. Good a return, though, from Story. That's gotten them an M4. If he can take one more kill on towards this B bomb site, it is then completely open for the taking. But no, Scenario, even with the smoke down, even with the fact that he wasn't even here for the first half, he still looks to be on point in these early rounds. And he's put himself 3-0 already. It's only Roman left standing. And while he had some decent clutches on that CT side, I don't expect it to be happening here in a 1-on-4.
Just DMing away in the break Scenario, just in his warm-up server. A shot from Roman, at least to make it that little bit more expensive. Quickly traded down, though, and again, bNE. 3 players alive, not a bad result at all. Keeping SAW well and truly on their toes. That gap, initially 7-round buffer, now down to 3. Plenty of money built up in the back of the bank account for bNE as well. They've got to buy in the back pocket before things start to get awkward. SAW in need of a couple on the trot if they are going to break this CT side and look to force things to a close here. At least this time got their full complement. AWP in the hands of Story. 4 AK-47s to try and press the issue. And a fast-paced play from Story is going to pay off brilliantly. On Flatro caught on timings alone, Story able to open things up. And the CT side, for the first time in a while, playing with that man disadvantage.
Oh, Rigon is about to find Roman waiting at the bottom of these stairs, and unfortunately didn't even spot him once he came into vision. So an easy opening for Roman. Pretty far forward in towards main, though, so there's already been a rotation into place. So I was going to say it's not something they can immediately capitalize on, but as responses keep on coming in from Bad News Eagles to try and salvage something, they just keep on failing, unfortunately. 2 on 5. SAW and GXX, both very capable players, sure, but the economy not being all that strong. Be interesting to see them maybe gamble this towards one of the bomb sites with both of them and either have a chance maybe to save or else have a good shot at holding down whichever site this ends up on. And well, considering someone's walked all the way onto A right now, I think the bomb might start rotating back around soon enough. I was going to say it's taken quite a while because he'd been out for a few seconds.
Yeah, it looks like they're confident enough now that that A site is clear for the taking. bNE looking to stack up B. Wrong call, unfortunately. SAW playing that one pretty much perfectly. bNE, you could see the idea. When Flatro goes down early, we need to find something. We need to find a gap. SAW knew that was going to be the response. Just lay in wait. Kept it very, very simple. A couple of nice off angles, we're going to say. I would call them ratty if I came up against them myself, but that headshot angle on the A stairs, that's the one, just catches the re-aggression as well over on B lane, and from there, it will be SAW who have their 12th, and well, it may well be bNE buying up strongly into the next. For now, going to be allowed to hold on to an M4 and an AWP, which plugs pretty much all the holes they had financially. GXX, the one who really has to survive. If SAW does, he gets the drop across to 1 Flatro, and then this CT side, well, they can have another bite at it, and that does look to be the case here as SAW put their 12th round on the board.
Yeah, definitely a start, but they're going to need to keep on trying to chain these together if they want to actually fully break through this economy. Bad News Eagles, they have everything they could ask for really in this round with still a decent amount of money left over. SAW, I was about to say, is there a weapon on the ground already just yet to buy? And wants the latter, only getting his M4 now. This is a must-win for the CT side. Again, they like their heavy mid presence early on, at least to get the extra utility down to stop anyone from pushing through. I know it can be a big problem considering Rigon himself was causing a nuisance in mid a lot at the time on their own T side. And actually barely even doing any damage. It looked like it was going to land a bit. There's a player wide on the angle though, trying to play around the edge of that smoke, and he just faded off as the peak actually came through. So the timing there not really working out. Interesting boost, hoping to catch someone peeking temple. It's much more passive though at the moment. SAW in behind the bomb site itself. Playing anti-flash, I believe.
Yeah, just behind those boxes, thinking about lining up some utility to support his teammate as well. Molotov will start to flush him out though. Smoke well placed to deal, and now that AWP boosted up, trying to isolate this fight. They want the pick onto the A site, not to be had just yet. Looking a group over towards A as well. It's a relatively sparsely occupied site for now for this CT side. Just Rigon and SAW anywhere near. bNE looking to stick with this 3-man B play for a long old time, and it may well cost them. Rigon down low under a lot of pressure. The HEs will deal with him, and SAW, they know exactly where to look. The Molotov licking at his feet, forces him down low. Desperately wants to contest this site, but SAW are having none of it. Bomb plant to follow, and this feels like it's a goner. Roman making absolutely sure. Story stripping everything bNE have away from them. Scenario desperately looking to save the M4. CT economy, as you scan on down with the loss bonus, will be a little back and forth. Expect the half buy to follow in the next, but SAW, very similarly to the first half, have started to find their tune here, just started to ride with the punches and find a way to break open this CT defense. 13, just 3 rounds away from stealing their opposition's map pick.
Yeah, seems like once they've come alive again, just taking some command and round wins for themselves. So now you're going to struggle to save over as well. Double peak on both sides. The time it worked out pretty well for SAW, that was. Not for Scenarii. Yeah, and it seems like this is the right time for a pause to be coming in. Even then, though, Scenarii and OneFlatro can't quite buy with everyone else, so it's a tough decision. Do you want to take an eco and potentially allow that 14-8 lead for SAW, or do you want to buy up and have 2 players who are on weaker weapons? And then if it doesn't work out, you're definitely giving away a 15th off the back of it as well. So it's a big call. High risk, high reward if they want to go for the buy here. That's definitely the decision they're mulling over.
Yeah, some big questions to be asked. Just about able to skim it out if they want it. This late in the day, though, do you pull that risk? You do if you're bNE. Double up setup brought into play. Hoping to maybe turn the tide with that big green panic button. 5-7 in the hands of Scenarii. OneFlatro's MP9, the sacrifices, and a very fast play looking to be called here by bNE. Straight up that B ramp, hoping to catch a timing, catch a man off guard. That's exactly what they get on SAW, but it's not quite enough. Scenarii's 5-7, able to trade the initial kill at least, but that AWP of GXX gets none. And with the bomb going down, SAW, sure he has a kit, but does he have any kind of a way to call his team back into this site? I don't think he does. OneFlatro's already thinking about maybe grabbing a couple because he's not getting out of there alive. SAW looking to cut out rotations on exit as well, but it's going to be a 14th round for SAW. The double up setup countered by a scathingly fast play in towards that B site. Just looking to pile on the pain now. OneFlatro able to dive and dodge and find a couple of kills on his exit. Will be able to hold on to an AK-47, and that's not a bad net result for bNE. They wanted a lot more, however. 14 on the board for SAW. Their economy will support plenty more where that came from, and once again, bNE's is starting to buckle.
Yeah, I mean, saving the 3 weapons and bringing the AK over for OneFlatro means he can drop one, and there should be just maybe one FAMAS then in play, so it's not going to be a terrible buy by any means for Bad News Eagles. They aren't forced to give away the 15th round as I thought they would be, but again, it's still all or nothing. They're just going to have to keep on buying and hope that one of these buys can finally crack through. And at the moment, SAW, it looks like the confidence is flowing once again, which is important. Charging their way straight onto that B-bomb site in the previous round. Probably not going to be taking the same approach here, but they are using a lot of utility again. So they definitely want to favor in this direction. Jerks in towards Cave, actually catches Rigon isolated. Had been looking behind themselves for a moment, interestingly enough. Not too sure what was going on there. Another kill comes in the meantime from Story, this time around on the op, and things have just crumbled for Bad News Eagles. At this point, SAW don't need to force the issue. They have time to work with, they have the advantage, but on Flatcher, we've seen the damage he was able to do with his AK in the previous round, and he's going to keep on going, apparently. Despite being blinded there by his teammates, Flash managed to make the kill work, and we've got a 3-on-3, but this is a dodgy position that MUTiRiS has cutting off the back of this A player.
Should have at least one for free. Should have all the info in the world, but GXX, wise to the possibility, holds his nerve. Buys his teammates a 2-on-2. Story's isolated in towards mid as well. If he misses his shot, he'll be punished. Synopsy goes down, however. And at this point, the bomb working its way out onto the B-bomb site with Roman. Story now will be able to call exactly what's up, and he traces GXX through the sky. Plucks him out of the air for 15, and bNE once again, just not quite able to hold on. That initial pumper utility into the B site isolates just a couple of fights. You see Rigon a little out in no man's land. Didn't really have the support you'd expect for an AWPer in such a tight corridor. He goes down for free. Fortuitous pick from Story around the edge of the smoke. And from there, they just trade their way down on SAW. 15-8. MP9s, Deagles, and 5-7s, all that remain to try and form the resistance for bNE, and they know they've got to press this issue hard. Synopsy, gun blazing, manages to find one in the opening moments, but the trades are almost immediate and brutally efficient again from SAW. Man advantage, looking for a little bit more, but GXX has something to say on his Deagle.
Okay. Yeah, we actually have Eagles fighting some life back into this round somehow. OneFlatro, I was going to say, Probably wanted to be careful that Opto falling back away, and Roman getting caught off guard, but the Deagle shots not quite there for GXX. That is a bit of a blunder that unfortunately could still cost him now in this round. He's going to have his chance again, and when he does do some damage, it's not enough. Story on the op shuts down one Flatro, and Scenari, he's left all alone. Wasn't on the server for the majority of the game, but he has his chance to make up for that now. Already with the first kill claim, Story that wants to take the fight to him, and that is not going to work out as the AK shuts him down. Scenari keeps Bad News Eagles alive, and well, with 6 more rounds to go to actually force it to an overtime, that really is only the start of a very long road here if they want to make this happen. Rather, we are getting a quick technical pause here, unfortunately. Not the best of timing, as Bad News Eagles just about win out that previous round, sitting around now, remembering that they only just about skate through with 1 player alive, and now they have a terrible bye as well.
Yeah, Scenari just about saving GXX's blushes there. That Deagle second kill should have been a guarantee. And those are the kind of ones you do not want to let slip by. Problem for bNE, like you said, every time they go down to this last man, they don't have the bank account to get back to their full buy. They have little bits and pieces, sure, here and there, but it's never the full buy. It's never quite what you'd want. And for SAW, well, all that hard-earned economy comes back to give them one last crack at this whip before they will have to eco. One opportunity to finish 16-9. Get it over the line. Go to Vertigo with confidence flowing through you. Question is, how do you call this? MP9 in the hands of Rigon. FAMAS for Juan Flatro. The sacrifice is again being felt by bNE. Will they go same again? That mid-aggression. It's been a double-edged sword. It's had both success and failures. This time looking a little more passive in these opening moments. Synopsy stuck behind a T-side smoke. Mid-control to be conceded and all through the smoke. MUTiRiS. Clean headshot to find his man. The man advantage out of absolutely nothing. And surely it's not like this, bNE. The trade onto Scenari is good. And the defense is split. Juan Flatro desperately isolated, looking for some kind of information in towards red, but he's left B bomb site open for the taking, and just, well, he's worked his way slowly but surely all the way up. Has he found the perfect hole? Juan Flatro doing what he can in mid, drops the bomb, makes it that little bit more techie, little more awkward. It's going to be EWjerkz to try and recover. Gets himself the first. Rigon trying to push the issue, trying to catch just any kind of a timing, but there's plenty of bodies here for SAW now. Rigon swings, and it's Roman to bail his teammate out as GXX is left. A 1v2 to contend with, and it's just not to be. 16-9. It will be SAW who take the victory over bNE on map 1. You have to say it felt like they got hurt having Devil walk in that first half, but SAW aren't going to mind how they get it done. They get it over the line, and next up on Vertigo as well, it's going to be a long old road if bNE want to bring this one back.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I think having Devil walk, while he didn't play bad by any means, just kind of threw them off a little bit in that first half, because they started off fantastic then with the pistol look